The 6 o'clock news starts right now.
The sky's certainly signaling a weather change out there. The sun out earlier, but things started to get overcast by late this afternoon. Storms brewing, strong winds on the way. Some parts of our viewing area already feeling the winds and the storms.
And last night, severe storms rolled in. Some areas pelted with large hail. Adam Caskey's tracking what we can expect for tonight. Adam.
And this evening between about now and 9 p.m., our primary threat is going to be some straight line winds up to 60 miles per hour and even the potential for some localized large hail. We are on the tail end of a long line of thunderstorms that's stretching all the way up to the Red River, but we're on the tail end of it here, and we do have one severe thunderstorm warning for Fredericksburg and Gillespie County. This storm is moving off to the east, and this is all the action that we have right now, but we are anticipating some further development southward into Bandera County, Bexar County, Kendall County over the next hour or two. So that's what we're going to be watching. As for this severe thunderstorm, it's headed off to the east, and these are flying pretty quickly at 65 miles per hour. That's why it's just a narrow window of opportunity for some of these storms. But this is moving east. There you go, at about 65 miles per hour. So if you have any interests up here, we're talking Lone Grove 6:04 p.m., Golden Beach at 6:10, Kingsland at 6:14, Lakeside Heights at 6:15, Granite Shoals area, Marble Falls about the same time. You're going to see those wind gusts potentially up to 60 miles per hour and some hail about 1 inch diameter. Locally, we've got this one thunderstorm in our viewing area just west of Kerrville, and this is headed east at the same speed. Another very fast thunderstorm. Right now, not severe, but that can change very quickly with these thunderstorms. So timing this out for Kerrville. Kerrville making it at 6:13 p.m., Tyvee High School at 6:15, Comfort High School at 6:28 p.m., and Bankersmith at 6:30 p.m. So that's headed eastward very quickly. Again, I want to look at our primary threats. I mentioned that it's straight line winds. That's a moderate threat along with large hail. And everybody asks, is it going to hail in my neighborhood? Scientifically, there is absolutely no way to tell until that hail-making storm has developed. That's why we're watching it closely. Come 10 p.m. and thereafter, you're in the clear and it's going to be okay. We even have a low-end risk of maybe an isolated tornado spinning up and flooding. That's not going to be an issue. Ironically, we don't need thunderstorms to get some high wind gusts. Del Rio already gusted up to 72 miles per hour because of the cold front that moved in. More on the wind and our future cast coming right up.
All right, thank you, Adam. We'll see you in just a bit. Last week's deadly dog mauling on the west side has prompted so many questions from our viewers about what to do if you're ever approached by an aggressive dog. So we spoke with Tatiana Correas at the San Antonio Dog Training Company to get some tips. Correa says the most important thing is to not run away or turn your back to the dog. Also, move to higher ground if you can, like getting on top of a car, and try your best to put a barrier between you and the dog, something like jumping over a fence.
Don't run away, don't turn around, make sure the dog stays in front of you, because the second you have eyes off of it, if they're in a distance, you got to make sure you know where they're going or if they're going to charge at you or not. Because a lot of times the second you turn around, you turn into prey.
Correas also told us if a dog has lunged at you and has bitten you, try to grab its collar from the back of the neck. She even suggested choking the dog if it is that aggressive and you have to, just to get the dog to stop. She said pepper spray and mace are also deterrents to stop a dog attack. Prosecutors wanted a life sentence, and that is what they got today. Leopoldo Mora learned today that he was going to prison for life for killing a veteran who was acting as a good Samaritan.
Yeah, that man was helping someone fix their car when he was killed. Erica Hernandez in the courtroom as each side made their final arguments to the jury.
It was up to a jury of 12 today to decide the fate of Leopoldo Mora. After 3 days on trial, the jury on Wednesday found him guilty of the 2021 murder of Kenneth Salazar outside a West Side motel. Prosecutors say Mora and Salazar got into an argument outside the motel that led to Mora shooting Salazar.
There was no sudden passion here. Kenneth Salazar had no idea what was about to happen.
During closing, the state reviewed the evidence of the case and also pointed out how Mora's past criminal activity had escalated from bribery and drug dealing to murder.
Whatever sentence you give him, and we hope it's life, will be justice.
As for the defense, attorney David Woodard hoped the jury took their time in deciding what sentence to give Mora and consider his children who would not have their father around.
You also heard from Leopoldo's children. And I didn't bring the children in for you to have sympathy for Leopoldo. Somebody in this world feels that he's salvageable. His kids.
In the end, the jury did take their time. In fact, they took almost 4 hours before they handed down that life sentence. But Mora is eligible for parole after serving 30 of those years. At the Cadena Reeves Justice Center, Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
More than 50 years ago, she ran unsuccessfully for a seat on the San Antonio City Council, but today, civil rights activist Rosie Castro took her place as the new interim councilwoman for District 7. She replaces Ana Sandoval, who resigned back in January. City Hall reporter Garrett Berger tells us that Castro's new colleagues are happy to welcome her.
So with that, it is my great honor to be the first up here to, and maybe the first in our city to ever call you Councilwoman Castro.
Thank you. Rosie Castro, the mother of two of San Antonio's best-known politicians, Julian and Joaquin Castro, is now a public official in her own right.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Castro is a well-known civil rights activist who ran for council in 1971, at a time when she says the city's east, south, and west sides lacked real representation through the council member-at-large system at the time.
We had a faith that even though we didn't win, someday somebody would.
Including her son, Julian, a former San Antonio mayor and housing secretary under Obama, who also previously represented the district that his mother now does.
This moment for my mother is in some ways 52 years in the making.
This time, she was unanimously voted in by the other 10 council members, several of whom praised her role in helping pave the way for better representation.
Without that work you did with your compadres back then, I would not be here. But for that work, a lot of the people on this dais would be here.
And now, she is too.
Councilmember Castro.
Councilwoman Castro's time in the D7 seat will be brief, just about 3 months. She's not running in the May 6th election, so one of the 5 candidates who are will be taking over the seat in June. In City Council chambers, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
If you've served time in the military, this is probably a part of the training that's hard to forget. Chemical, biological, and nuclear preparedness. A critical phase for men and women in uniform to complete while they're in boot camp.
In the Air Force, trainees undergo this necessary evil during week 4 of their training. Our Jonathan Cotto takes us behind the gates of Joint Base San Antonio Chapman Annex for a look inside the tightly sealed walls of the gas chamber and why it's important to have confidence in your gear.
The gas chamber, a not so fun but necessary element in military training that's been in place for decades.
The significance of it dates all the way back to World War I.
Today, these trainees must successfully complete the Seaburn Defense Course. That's chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear preparedness. In here, trainees are exposed to a concentrated and controlled amount of tear gas.
This building is much more sealed up, much more sound. It also has a built-in filtration system. So while we're in their training, the trainees get a better concentration that gives them a better experience and make sure that they can feel the proper effects of wearing that gas mask correctly.
And if worn incorrectly, trainees will feel the short-lived but painful irritation.
Burns, it burns.
Once all of the gases hits you, it's like a adrenaline rush. Just hits you and your eyes are burning and you're coughing.
A proper seal on the mask, crucial for maximum survivability in a real-world scenario.
This is one of the fundamentals of operating in that overseas environment. We never know what enemy forces could use.
And as unpleasant as it feels, this trainee says it's been an overall positive experience.
Blink, breathe.
I mean, it didn't feel too nice in the moment, but I think if I were ever deployed in any kind of hostile environment, I would absolutely be prepared and trained to do what I need to do to protect myself and help my wingmen if need be.
Part of the reason why this training is so important is so that trainees can establish what they call mask confidence. They need to trust that their gear will work if they ever have to use it.
We learned all about how to check everything, the insides and the outs, make sure everything's secured, done properly, so I am fully confident if I were deployed tomorrow, I could do what I need to do to be safe.
Reporting Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Doesn't look enjoyable.
Not at all.
All right, traffic authority out there. We're going to check out TransGuide at 410 and San Pedro, and you can see, I believe we are looking eastbound here. You can see the westbound lanes. There's a bit of a backup, but no major traffic accidents to tell you about. And obviously, we continue to follow the weather for the big story.
Look outside right now as we're waiting on the weather to change. Adam Caskey timing out all of these storms. He's going to have an update on what you can expect when as the evening and the night roll on in just a little bit. Still to come here at 6 o'clock. Today is World Teen Mental Wellness Day, and a local organization with teens in leadership roles is launching another campaign to make sure that other teenagers are in a good mental space. How they're accomplishing that through a survey for teens by teens.
Here's a look at what we're working on for you tonight on the Night Beat.
Can I talk to you guys about your recent inspection?
I have no idea about that, sir.
What was going on behind the kitchen door at this convenience store that earned them a low score? Tim Gerber had some questions for them. This story and more tonight on the Night Beat at 10.
A city survey last year made it crystal clear teenagers are struggling with their mental health. That survey was written by teens for teens.
As Courtney Freeman explains, those students are at it again. Exactly 1 year later, the San Antonio Youth Commission releasing a follow-up survey which launched today.
Teenagers themselves are revealing how tough it was to come out of pandemic lockdowns.
We were feeling stressed out, having this quick transition.
Emerald Alanis is a high school senior on the San Antonio Youth Commission, where young leaders tackle issues that affect their peers, like mental health.
Are we all feeling the same? Kind of not feeling motivated, kind of feeling tired.
The San Antonio Department of Human Services put out the survey last year. They expected a couple hundred responses, but because it was clear students wrote the questions, they got over 1,000 responses.
This idea of having this trust, even though you may not know the teen, it's knowing that it's someone your age.
1 in 5 teens reported having mental health problems, and most kids say they didn't know where to get help for themselves or others.
We understand that friends were the first people that the youth were going to go to, and then half of the friends didn't know where to find mental health resources.
One main resource is calling or texting 988. That's not just the suicide lifeline, it's for all mental health issues, and you can call if you're a kid or an adult.
The severity of the survey results prompted the city to allocate $15 million in COVID relief funds specifically to youth mental health. Department of Human Services analyst Jem Morris is also the liaison for the San Antonio Youth Commission and is proud the team just launched the second teen mental health survey loaded with crucial questions.
A lot of them are the same, but some of them are related to personal safety in schools, active shooter drills, and everything else going on that they see in the news if they're impacted by.
The new survey asks if teens are still feeling the same way or if there are new factors involved.
Teens, we know how each other feel, and now just finding a way of what is it? What is the quote-unquote problem, or how can we solve it?
Teens ages 12 to 19 are encouraged to take the survey now on the Metro Health and Human Services websites. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
Another great resource for mental health is called SACRD, S-A-C-R-D, the San Antonio City Resource Directory. You can visit their website for more.
SACRD, no E.
No.
Look outside with Sky 12 over Woodlawn Lake this evening. We are waiting on the weather to change. Adam Caskey talking a lot about the timing at the top of this show. And Adam, these storms, they're moving fast.
Yeah, they are. They're moving very quickly. And I actually modified the settings on our radar here a little bit that I'll get to in just one moment. But before that, I want to show you the big scope of it. This is a strong line of thunderstorms stretching from Oklahoma southward all the way down to Kerrville, now stretching toward city of Medina and even Bandera. See the polygons, these red and yellow boxes, those are the watches that are out there. And then toward the final few frames, you see the severe thunderstorm warnings pop up. Just pretty much along the whole line, we have some of those severe thunderstorm warnings. So let's get to our local radar at the moment. And because they're moving so quickly, I dropped this down to a 15-minute animation. That's it. Just over the past 15 minutes. That's all we really need here. So it's a slow animation, but these storms are whipping. They're moving quickly, and you see this yellow box that just filled in. That's our newest severe thunderstorm warning from the National Weather Service until 7:15 p.m. for all of Kendall County. That includes Comfort, Candelia, Bernie as well, Kerrville, Ingram, City of Medina, and this is until 7:45 p.m. So this includes the northern half of Bandera County. Now, this thunderstorm could have some wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour and maybe even some large hail about the size of a quarter or even slightly larger. That would be about 1 inch in diameter or bigger. This is moving east, and they're moving fast. These are trucking along. I mean, they're basically going at highway speed right now, which you don't see terribly often around here. In terms of the thunderstorms, we'll try to plot out some communities here, get you an idea of when that could make it to your neck of the woods if you're in line of this or downstream from this thunderstorm. All righty, here we have it, a laundry list. Kerrville, it's moving in right now along with Ingram. Comfort, 6:27 p.m. You can expect this storm to hit. With it, a big gust of wind right as the rain starts or right ahead of the rain. In Bankersmith, 6:29 p.m. Welfare, 6:35 p.m. Blanco, 6:51 p.m. Blanco, you're further downstream, but then Twin Sisters, 6:53. So even as you get into parts of northern Comal County, we're talking Fisher area, that's about the same time as Blanco. So that would be about 6:51 p.m. for the arrival of that storm. As for the threats at the moment, I think it's primarily just some winds within it and even some hail that's starting to pick up. This red area just north of Kerrville indicates some of those stronger winds embedded within this thunderstorm. Less than 70 miles per hour, but that's still potentially damaging. Remember, all it takes is 58 miles per hour or more for that wind gust to cause some damage. So that's what we're looking at with this, straight line winds and even a few little hail cores starting to develop here as well. And when I say some of the hail cores, these purple areas just north of the city of Kerrville, we've got some hail near Mount Wesley that just developed. This is right along I-10. That could be 1 inch to 1.5 inches in diameter with that hail. We are expecting more development southward along this line, and notice our futurecast. It's actually initializing pretty well. 6, 7, 8 p.m. Some development leading into San Antonio all the way through 9 p.m. We have the window of possibility for those severe thunderstorms with the straight line winds and large hail posing the primary threats. By 10 o'clock, that threat moves east to Hallettsville, Cuero down toward Goliad, and then it's all out of here by 11 p.m. at midnight, and we clear out. So that window of opportunity is up through about 9 p.m. here in San Antonio, a little bit later east of town. Del Rio, measured wind gust of 72 miles per hour. That's not a thunderstorm wind gust. That's the cold front. So it's not going to take thunderstorms for some high winds. Secure loose objects outside. Wind gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour in San Antonio and surrounding communities. Just momentarily, within an hour or two, it's going to start, and that's going to be all the way through the noon hour tomorrow. 48 in the morning, sunny, 76 tomorrow afternoon. The wind finally pumping the brakes after the noon hour in this weekend. Beautiful, lower humidity, sunny, and near 80 for highs.
All right, thank you, Adam.
All right, let's go live to the AT&T Center now. The Spurs getting ready to play, but Larry, I understand you have some breaking news when it comes to the Spurs coaching staff.
Yeah, Steve, I do. So head coach Greg Popovich will not coach tonight due to a non-COVID illness. That is per the Spurs. Brett Brown is also out with an illness, so that means Mitch Johnson will lead the Spurs tonight when they take on the Indiana Pacers. Coming up, we're going to talk about Malachi Branham, who had an awesome month of February, and in baseball, Lance Berkman had his jersey retired out at Canyon High School. Coming up. Good evening, everybody, and welcome live to the AT&T Center, where the Spurs are back home, and they will host the Indiana Pacers tonight. San Antonio is looking to snap a 5-game home losing streak. So the Spurs have to be feeling much better, of course, about ending the rodeo road trip with a win. And now they'll face the Pacers and the Rockets in a quick 2-game homestand Thursday and Saturday. The good news is Devin Vassell and Trey Jones are both available tonight. Vassell is coming back from a left knee procedure in January, while Jones has missed the last 5 games with left foot soreness. Spurs leading scorer, however, Keldon Keldon Johnson is out tonight with a left foot sprain, and rookie Malachi Branham is now available with a low back contusion that he suffered Tuesday night at Utah. He's coming off a fabulous February when he led all NBA rookies, scoring 16.8 points per game. The 28th overall pick reached double figures 9 times, and he had 5 20-point games in February. So what led to his uptick in scoring?
My routine. I got into my routine very good, and I feel like that's all you kind of need. At first I really didn't have no routine, but also it's just me being more confident in myself, me getting more minutes, and also just me being aggressive hurt my shot. So all those just kind of came together, and I just did my thing.
Pacers and Spurs are tipped tonight at 7:30. Highlights on the Night Beat. In girls high school basketball, it is a big day at the Alamo Dome where the state semifinals are underway, and we have one team playing a little bit later tonight. Class 1A went first this morning, followed by 3A, and that means Class 5A will take center stage tonight. The Wagner Thunderbirds will face Frisco Liberty in the 5A state semis. Wagner's 29-4, Liberty 27-10. Earlier this week, we asked the T-Birds about facing the Red Hawks.
I know they're pretty big, but I feel that our defensive pressure is going to cause a lot of problems.
I feel like we need to continue to do what we're doing, maybe make more shots, make more layups, and not have as many turnovers that we had.
We know that they're athletic, they're big. We have some film on them. We will get all that together and break that down. At this point, everybody's good. You reach the Final Four, you have to be good. So we just got to be ready to play.
That is true. Wagner and Liberty are scheduled to play tonight at 7 at the Dome. Highlights on the Night Beat. 6-time Major League Baseball All-Star and New Braunfels Canyon alum Lance Berkman had his number 23 jersey retired today at the Canyon baseball field. Lance graduated from Canyon in 1994, and he went on to play 15 seasons in the bigs with the Astros, Yankees, Cardinals, and Rangers. He's honored to have his jersey retired, and he just wants today's kids to have fun.
Just to think that people would want to honor you and have a day like this is I'm honored by it and touched for sure. So really just appreciate the willingness to do something like this, and excited to be here.
Berkman threw out the first pitch before the Cougars hosted Dripping Springs. Lance won the World Series in 2011 with the Cardinals. UTSA baseball stole home to beat Incarnate Word last night, literally. Antonio Valdez, a former UIW Cardinal, was the star of the night as he stole home for UTSA's go-ahead run in the 8th inning of a pitcher's duel. Heads-up play by him. The Roadrunners win 2-1, improving to 8-1 on the season. And again, in case you didn't hear, Spurs head coach Greg Popovich is out tonight with a non-COVID illness. Brett Brown is also out with an illness, so that means Mitch Johnson will lead the Spurs against the Pacers. Back to you in the studio.
All right. Thank you, Larry.
Straight ahead in the next half hour, voting on campuses could be a thing of the past if one Texas lawmaker gets her way. What's being proposed and why the bill is aimed at young voters. It's the topic of tonight's KSAT Q&A.
Trying to address some technical difficulties with our Q&A guests, so hoping to get that fixed and bring you that conversation here momentarily. Right now, though, the story of a Pennsylvania man accused of trying to smuggle an explosive device past security at an airport. He made his first court appearance today.
Yeah, he's facing federal charges. As ABC's Lindsay Watts reports, investigators say they found the device in the lining of a suitcase.
Mark Muffley in court Thursday afternoon, 3 days after his arrest. Investigators say he was set to fly to Florida and had an explosive hidden in his checked bag.
It was concealed within his luggage. He put some effort into that.
Chad Iggy is part of the bomb squad that responded to the scene at Pennsylvania's Lehigh Valley International Airport. The FBI says X-rays of the device showed it contained a granular type of powder consistent with a commercial-grade firework, and also that it had multiple fuses attached, including one designed to ignite quickly. Investigators say the suspect's bag also contained a can of butane and a lighter. The criminal complaint saying the device was susceptible to ignite from heat and friction.
From my experience and training, it was not a sophisticated device, but it could still inflict a lot of damage or harm to people. There's always a risk of anything of any size going off in an aircraft.
Sources familiar with the investigation tell ABC News while the device contained flammable explosive components, it wasn't operational. Someone would have needed to get into the cargo hold to detonate it. Investigators say before the bag could be loaded onto the plane, it tripped an alarm. TSA then paging Muffley over the airport PA system, telling him to report to security. Instead, the FBI says Muffley left the airport. He was arrested here at his home on Monday night. Muffley's public defender arguing in court that the device was just a firework. Muffley is facing 15 years behind bars. He's being held until his next court hearing. Lindsay Watts, ABC News, Washington.
Other news around America today, Oklahoma City police are looking for a gunman who allegedly shot his manager and killed him at a job site. This happened yesterday at a distribution warehouse for the retailer Hobby Lobby. Both men worked at that facility. Authorities say the suspect should be considered armed. The Federal Aviation Administration is investigating after multiple passengers were injured during a flight that experienced what's being described as significant turbulence. The Lufthansa flight left Austin and was traveling to Germany Wednesday evening. About an hour and a half into that flight, though, severe turbulence began somewhere over Tennessee. This is what the plane looked like, what you saw there. Afterward, one passenger said it felt like the plane was dropping suddenly. She could hear glass breaking, people screaming. The plane landed safely at Dulles International Airport in Washington, D.C. You can see what a mess it caused inside there. 7 people were taken to hospitals, but fortunately with minor injuries.
Health officials in Washington state trying to convince a woman with tuberculosis to isolate herself before police there put her in jail. The thing is, they've been trying to get her to do that for more than a year now. For the 16th time, a court hearing was held in this case, and a judge found the infected woman in civil contempt. She's facing arrest for refusing to isolate or take prescribed medication. She has until Friday to enter isolation. If she does, the health department in Tacoma may ask the court to lift that arrest warrant. It can be treated with antibiotics, but if untreated, tuberculosis can be deadly.
Elizabeth Holmes, the former CEO of Theranos, is hoping to delay her 11-year prison sentence. She recently gave birth to her second child. Holmes was sentenced last year for defrauding investors while running the failed blood testing startup Theranos. Her attorneys say that she now has 2 young children and is not a flight risk or a danger to the community. But in a January filing, prosecutors said that Holmes attempted to flee to Mexico. Holmes has been ordered to turn herself into custody April 27th. A hearing is scheduled for this month on March 17th.
In light of the recent rail disaster in Ohio, the Federal Railroad Administration prioritizing inspection of routes where hazardous materials are carried. The agency announcing they're refocusing their efforts starting in East Palestine and then continuing nationwide. Inspectors checked out about 180,000 miles of track last year. They expect to check more with this new focus. The FRA, again, the Federal Railroad Administration, says they are reprioritizing to help the railroad's workers as well as state and local governments to implement better informed decisions and policies regarding rail safety. And travel disturbances continue to stack up in America's troubled skies. The Federal Aviation Administration now investigating after significant turbulence during that Lufthansa flight from Texas left several people injured.
Ivan Rodriguez has the latest on that, plus other recent incidents that have impacted air travel all across the country.
This scattered debris, the aftermath of major turbulence on board a flight from Texas to Germany, resulting in 7 people transported to hospitals and the plane diverted to Virginia. Meanwhile, another flight from Dallas to Orlando diverted to Jacksonville and landed safely after smoke filled the cabin. The Spirit Airlines crew reported a battery in an overhead bin caught fire.
It was lucky that we got to it right away. We averted a major problem.
And in Pennsylvania, a suspect making his first appearance in court Thursday, accused of trying to bring explosives in his checked luggage.
The airport process seems to have stood up and worked as intended, which is definitely a good sign.
These air travel disturbances are the latest in what appears to be a growing list of incidents that have left flyers on edge, including 5 near collisions involving commercial planes on U.S. runways this year.
The pilots did a really incredible job. I mean, we came in, it was a scary situation.
President Joe Biden's nominee to lead the FAA, promising to protect air travelers at a confirmation hearing this week.
The safety of the traveling public will remain my top priority.
While the head of the NTSB has called for a safety review.
We have to make sure that our focus is first and foremost on safety. The aviation community and aviation is incredibly safe. We are the gold standard.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.